Welcome back, YouTubers. Doomways here for another kind of pseudo game discussion. This is actually going to be over several games, at least one of which I've already talked about a little bit. I talked about it quite a bit, and if you can't tell by the title by now, I'm going to talk about Super Mario Brothers today. I beat about 6 Super Mario Brothers games in the last month. That's, for me, that's impressive. I don't know about anybody else, but I haven't ever beat these games before, and pretty proud of myself for getting them all done. Had a lot of fun with it, and it all started with this one. New Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo DS. Good friend of mine, Pierce Jedi, sent this to me in a trade that we did about a month ago, and I put it in and I beat it, and I unlocked all of the unlockable levels, you know, collected a crap ton of the star coins and stuff like that, and put about 16, almost 17 hours into this game, and yeah, I can still put it in and play it right now, and I'm actually considering starting a new file and just playing it again just for grins, just because I had that much fun with it. Of course, it's 2D, side-scrolling Mario, classic style. I don't know how similar it is to the new Super Mario Brothers on the Wii. I'd like to play that one also, but I gotta track down a copy of that one first, and probably do a comparison of sorts, maybe someday down the road. Who knows? But I don't know if they're exactly the same. I don't think so. I think they're entirely different games. But I really would like to find the sequel to that one as well. To play it, and also Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But I will talk about some other games that I haven't talked about yet. I played them out of order, completely actually. After, well, I don't know if I beat that one first or if I beat the other one first. I got the original Super Mario Brothers on 3DS. I bought that. It was like $4.99 or something like that on the 3DS eShop. I went ahead and picked that up, and I really enjoyed playing it on there because it had save states, so you could just save whenever you wanted. You know, you could save right before that really hard jump, you know, that you've died at 1,000 times before, and you know, just keep trying until you get to the other side, then save it again real quick. So I had a lot of fun playing it that way. I know that's technically cheating, but if the game is going to give me the option, then I'm going to do it. So that's the way I played that game, and I absolutely loved it. I did beat it 2 times through, actually, and I did complete it, you know, played both quests. And that's actually something not many people know about with Super Mario Brothers. Like, if you actually play it again. Like, you can keep playing it again over and over, and the princess will always tell you the same thing, as far as I know. She'll always tell you, you know, thank you for saving me, another quest is about to begin, you know, a harder quest. And I don't know if the third time through, if it's actually any different than the second time through. Not planning on doing it a third time through. Not planning on doing. I will say that the second time through I did use warps, but not the first time. First time I actually played through all the stages, and you know, just straight through. But the second time I did warp to World 4 and then to World 5, and then played it out the rest away from there. But I did have a lot of fun with that, and on my 3DS it was really convenient to be able to play it on there, especially, you know, with playing New Super Mario Brothers. I was able to switch on and off and play both of them kind of at the same time, the original and then of course the throwback game. Had a lot of fun with that, so of course that sparked the fire that is my recent Mario obsession, and I went ahead and decided that I was going to play at least the rest of them that I own, and so I went ahead and got started. First off, I put in Super Mario All-Stars, and I played through and beat the Lost levels, which is the true Super Mario Brothers 2. So I went ahead and played that, had a blast with it. I tell you what, that game is hard. I didn't beat it 2 times through, because it was another one that, you know, when you beat it the first time, it prompts you to go ahead and play it again, but I didn't do it again a second time. I figured that game is hard enough without playing it a second time. What I will say though is for actually all of the games on this cart that I'm going to talk about, I didn't actually play it on here. I do own it, but I played them on my original Xbox so I could do save states, just because that's the way I wanted to play. I didn't want to have to deal with dying. I know that's once again technically cheating, but I did get through all the levels, on my own Steam. I didn't cheat any other way other than using some save states. So I did get the full impact of this skill needed to complete the levels, other than having to do it in one go. But the lost levels, I can understand why Nintendo of Japan thought that perhaps it was a little bit too hard for Americans, but still, I think that's cheap still. But at the same time, I get it. And I think for some it would have been off-putting, the level of difficulty, and I don't know though. It plays almost identical to Super Mario Brothers 1, so I mean it wouldn't have been too much different really. But then after finishing the lost levels, I went ahead and jumped to Super Mario World. Had a blast with this. I also emulated this one too, but once again I do own it. I emulated this one, and man, this one was a lot of fun. I didn't own this one as a kid either. I didn't own Lost Levels either, but like I said, it plays almost identical to Super Mario Bros. 1, which I've played hundreds and hundreds of times. But this game, I can remember going to one of my friends' house, Haas's house actually, when he got his Super Nintendo for his birthday that year, and this game was the pack-in, and I could just remember watching him play this and just being so deflated with jealousy because I wanted this game so bad. And I actually always wanted a Super Nintendo as a kid, and it just never happened. Even into when other consoles had come out and stuff, the N64 was out, the PlayStation, I can still remember just really wanting to go back and get a Super Nintendo so I could play this game. And so obviously when I got my first Super Nintendo, recently, this was actually the first game that I bought for the system. I bought this one, and I bought Doom and Wolfenstein, the ports, of course, the id games on the system. I bought those two, but this was actually the very first one that I bought that didn't come with the system, obviously. And I actually sold it off a while back because I actually sold my Super Nintendo because I knew, that in my travels I would come across another one for really cheap, and I got very lucky and I found another system, and I decided to keep it then because I realized what a great system it was. And yeah, got a new copy of this when I got that, and I'm very, very happy to have it. And yeah, I absolutely love this game. I love the power-up Yoshi, of course, and the cape. Jeez, I couldn't think of what it was. The cape. I had a tough time on occasion actually learning how to control the flight. When you pull the cape down, you catch the wind, and I actually had a little bit of trouble with getting the hang of that, getting the rhythm of it at first. But once I got the hang of it, it was fine, and it helped out a lot on some of the stages, especially some of the stages that you needed to get to a different exit. And so that was one of the things that was kind of confusing about this game, was that there were several levels that had secret exits, and they weren't necessarily secret exits as the exit that you needed to take, but it just wasn't the obvious one. The obvious one led you nowhere. The one that I can really remember was, I think it was the Chocolate Island, I think is what it was. One of those stages, the easy exit to find wasn't the one that you needed to go to. There was a completely different exit that you needed to find to end the level. But I did have a lot of fun with this. Fantastic, fantastic game. And I really wasn't sure after playing through this which one I liked better, Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario World. And I can say now that after beating Super Mario Bros. 3, which I'm going to talk about next, I really still don't know, because Super Mario Bros. 3 is such a masterpiece, and so is this. They're both absolutely brilliant games, and I don't know. surely based on the limitations of the NES and how good Super Mario Brothers 3 is compared to, the first game on the Super Nintendo, not realizing the machine's complete limitations, kind of just, bottom rung of the Super Nintendo, they really are pretty even. Obviously, the look is a little bit different. The look and the sound and everything is a little bit different. But I'm talking about just the skeleton of the game and the gameplay itself. They really are very, very close. And I go ahead and talk about Super Mario Brothers 3 now, because I beat it right after I played it right after I played this one. Once again on Super Mario All Stars. I have the NES card for 1 and 3. I don't own 2 anymore. But yeah, after playing 3, I actually just beat 3 last night, I think it was. And I just really like the concept of 3 with the airships and kind of a different approach, where you have the overworld map to look at, and then you go and select the stages, and the power-up stages that were just really, really well done, and the fortresses. And the only complaint there would be that the fortress, the mini bosses in the middle of the fortresses, they were all the same, which really wasn't a complaint, but they were really easy to beat once you time those jumps just right. But the same could be said also about the Koopas at the end in the airships. They all had slight differences, with like the projectiles that they had, and like the ones later on that would shake the ground and make you unable to jump. It had slight variations, but still it was kind of the same deal. You just had to time the jumps in order to defeat the bosses at the end and the airships. But still, I just like the design of the airships and how it was just a little bit different. Where it was a scrolling stage trying to get to the back end of the airship to get down to fight one of the Koopas, instead of just going into a castle or a dungeon to fight. So I really thought that was cool. But then we move on to the game I played next, and that was actually Super Mario Brothers 2, the American Super Mario Brothers 2. And I'll say, when I was a kid, I really liked Super Mario Brothers 2 because it was so much different. That's what I liked about it, was that it was so much different, with the, picking up items and throwing them, and just how everything worked. That's what I liked about it, and it was charming to me when I was a kid, and I enjoyed playing it. But I never made it, past the second or third stage. I just never made it. I don't think I ever made it to World 2. Even though all the worlds just had 3 levels, I don't think I ever made it to World 2. And all the time that I had Super Mario Brothers 2 as a kid, and you see it, and I really didn't have. I didn't have it as a kid, but we rented it from time to time. I actually got the game when I was in high school, and same sort of deal. Like, I just never made it very far because you couldn't save. I was just always up shit creek with it. But with All Stars, it made it a lot easier to save, and of course, with me emulating, it was, really easy to save. I put it in last night after I finished Super Mario Bros. 3 and made it several stages in. I want to say I was in the 3rd world, maybe just the second. Maybe it was just the second world. But I blasted through it this evening and made it all the way to the end, and I gotta say, this one was actually, it was short. The levels themselves, were actually kind of long, in structure. Some of them, not all of them. But a lot of the things, and I'm really glad that there wasn't a time limit on these levels. That was another good thing about it too. And obviously, I know that that Super Mario Brothers 2 isn't technically a a Mario game. It was technically some other Japanese game, and that's fine, because I did play it, for what it, is marketed as in America. It's a Mario game, platformer, whatever. All that other mumbo jumbo doesn't matter to me. But it is an incredibly different game entirely. You know, there was no time limit, and a lot of stuff was very not necessarily puzzle oriented, kind of, and sometimes it was, and just, I don't know, it felt like playing this one that a lot of times your reflexes had to be quite a bit sharper in order to play this one. I don't know what it was about it, you know, just the combination of the little things that spit the big rocks at you, you know, at the end of each level, you know, and just the final boss was actually pretty brutal, and that's just one thing I noticed about the game, was that it was a lot more, you know, puzzle strategy kind of oriented, and sometimes you had to stack things up to jump on to get up to the next platform, and towards the end there were some levels with the spark things that go around the circles and stuff that you really had to just time things just right, and to jump so you didn't get hit by one of those things. And it made me really kind of wonder, like, how the heck did anyone ever beat this game without save states? Because some of those jumps, you had to just be the master at jumping in order to dodge all of those sparks, I think is what they were called. Yeah, it was just crazy. I did enjoy it, more or less. You know, I will say though, it is my least favorite Mario game that I have. You know, that I've played, and I've not played, you know, tons and tons. I mean, there's several that I haven't played. But yeah, it was kind of it was a different experience. We'll just leave it at that. I'm glad that I played it, and I'm glad that I finished it. Mostly just glad that I finished it so I can move on. But also last night I did throw in Yoshi's Island, and actually borrowing that from a friend. And so I played several stages of that, and I can say I really enjoy the art style. I really like the direction. You know, I actually like the concept quite a bit too. I, like most people, hate Baby Mario, but it's just the sound. You know, the sound of his crying that's annoying. You know, not the concept or anything. I actually kind of like the concept. You know, where you're trying relaying the baby. You know, with all the different Yoshis, and I don't know. It's actually a pretty fun game. I've only played, like I said, I think I made it past the first, I guess what you would call the fortress. When you fight your first boss, I think I'm on the stage right after that. So I think it's 3 or 4 stages. I can't remember exactly how many. Probably going to go ahead and move forward with that game. I actually don't have that one on my Xbox, so I won't be emulating that one. I'll actually be playing that the old-fashioned way on the Super Nintendo, but that's alright. I actually want to put it on my Xbox, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to put ROMs on there. I mean, I have ROMs, but I don't know. I have to have my brother-in-law show me. He's the one that I bought it from, and so he said to bring it over sometime. We'll get some more ROMs put on there, so I'm looking forward to that, just because. But anyway, I'm not going to save this for the pickup video. I'll just go ahead and tell you. Getting Super Mario 64 for the N64 coming in the mail very soon. Did a trade with someone on Atari Age, so that's the only game that I'm getting in the trade, which is fine because I sent off some NES titles that I really don't care about, and I'm getting that. So it was an even trade, and I'm very, very happy to get that. Hopefully I can endure the N64 controller, because I really want to play the game, and I really want to give it an honest try and finish it. Also, of course, Super Mario Galaxy 2. The only currently, you know, other than 64 coming in the mail, this is the only 3D Mario game that I've played at length. The only one that I own. I've played several stages of this in the last, not recently, but since I've owned the game, and I can tell that it's really fun. I'm pretty excited to get back to this now that I've been on this Mario kick, and I'm kind of obsessive. So I'll actually probably give more of an effort to play this one. And actually, my brother-in-law has Super Mario Galaxy 1, so hopefully he'll let me borrow that in the meantime so I can play it also, but I don't think it matters if I play this one first. Just doesn't seem like that kind of thing. But anyway, it's about 1:40 in the morning. And this video has gone on for about 20 minutes. It's going to be a long day at work tomorrow, especially if I don't go to bed here soon. But I wanted to go ahead and record this video since I've been on this Mario obsession lately. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about all the games that I've been finished. That's pretty much all I've been playing, really. I've played a few other things here and there, but most of my time has been put into Mario. Anyway, thanks for watching. Doom Waves out.